So one of the first days when we were driving through the neighborhood to get to the designated area where we were supposed to be distributing food, we saw a gentleman in the car on the side of the road, and he was sweating profusely. He couldn't catch his breath. He said that he hadn't eaten in days, and he had some small kids. So, even before we got to our location, because there was a huge line, we pulled over the truck. We gave him a bunch of waters. We went in the back. We made some hot meals for him. We had some snacks, and we brought it over to his house. And this gentleman really, really looked like he was hurting, and he really looked like he needed it.
You're listening to an American Red Cross in Greater New York podcast. Hello, everyone. This is Michael DeVolpierre, Communications Officer with the American Red Cross in Greater New York. The COVID-19 pandemic has unfortunately converged with a very active and destructive hurricane season, and we're not even midway through the month of September. On August 27, 2020, Hurricane Laura made impact as a Category 4 storm, packing top sustained winds of 150 miles an hour, heavy rains, and a life-threatening storm surge, making it one of the most powerful storms to make landfall in the U.S. And as you can imagine, the impact on communities has been devastating. The American Red Cross has mobilized a massive response to deliver relief and comfort to the tens of thousands whose lives were upended by the storm. Carrying out this work on the ground in Texas and Louisiana are more than 1,200 Red Cross relief workers, the majority of whom are volunteers, providing safe shelter, food, water, relief supplies, health and mental health support, and much more. From here in Greater New York, the Red Cross so far has deployed 24 team members to the Gulf, which is pretty remarkable when you factor in the fear, anxiety, and uncertainty caused by COVID-19. In this next episode of our podcast, we'll be sharing excerpts from my conversation with one of these individuals. When 22-year-old recent college grad Nick Montoro learned that he could assist on the ground in Louisiana, he immediately raised his hand and volunteered to help, making his father, Sal Montoro, very proud. His dad, Sal, is a longtime Red Cross volunteer from Long Island who has dedicated a huge part of his life to service through the Red Cross. After Superstorm Sandy devastated communities across Long Island and across our region in 2012, when Nick was 14, Sal first introduced his son to the Red Cross. In our conversation, Nick shares with us what he is seeing and doing in and around Lake Charles, one of the areas hardest hit by the storm. Nick also talks to us about the importance to his family and to himself of giving back. So how old are you?
I actually just turned 22 on August 7th.
Okay.
I just graduated from college.
Oh, wow.
So
Where did you go to school?
I went to school at the University of Delaware.
Okay. The Blue Hens?
Yep, the Blue Hens.
The Fighting Blue Hens. What did you study?
I was a biology major.
Okay. And you so you in your last semester was an odd COVID semester. What was that like?
It was pretty difficult because everything got moved online. I was still able to take my classes and do what I had to do, but it was really not the experience that I was looking forward to. Our graduation also got pushed back to next year, so I don't really know how happy I am about that, but it is what it is. It's tough times right now, and everyone's going together, and we just gotta take it with stride and do the best that we can.
Yeah, and your Red Cross connection goes back to your high school days, right?
It does, yes. Back when Superstorm Sandy hit Long Island, that was my first real time being out in the field. I was going around with my father. I was helping him set up one of the biggest shelters actually on Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum, and it was very hectic but rewarding at the same time. Being able to help out, especially my community back at home.
It seems like your dad really instilled in you. And do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do have one sister, an older sister.
Okay, so he instilled in you guys the importance of community service at an early age?
Absolutely. And, I was really happy that he did because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that. When I heard about what was going on down here, I was actually the one to approach both of my parents, and I said, "Listen, I just graduated from college. I haven't started my full-time job yet, and I would love to go down there and help out." And I could just see in my dad's eyes how proud he was of me. And I came down here representing him, and I've been trying to do the best that I can.
Not everybody would just raise their hand in the middle of a pandemic and say, I want to go down to Louisiana and help out during a hurricane. Why was it important for you to do that?
This opportunity came really at the right time for me. Um, I I wanted to help out in any way that I could, and being actually on the ground down here, I feel like we're able to make the largest difference. We're able to interact with the people in the communities that have been devastated, and already I'm doing feeding down here, so.
Okay, yeah.
We've been driving to and from Lake Charles every day. We leave at about 9 or 10 in the morning. It's been about a 3-hour drive there and a 3-hour drive home. So we end up getting back in Baton Rouge at about like 11 or 12 at night. So they're long days, but all of it's worth it. So one of the first days when we were driving through the neighborhood to get to the designated area where we were supposed to be distributing food, we saw a gentleman in the car on the side of the road, and he was sweating profusely. He couldn't catch his breath. He said that he hadn't eaten in days, and he had some small kids. So even before we got to our location, because there was a huge line, we pulled over the truck. We gave him a bunch of waters. We went in the back. We made some hot meals for him. We had some snacks, and we brought it over to his house. And this gentleman really, really looked like he was hurting, and he really looked like he needed it. And we were happy to be able to deliver to him at the time that we did.
Wow. Yeah. How did he respond?
He broke down. He really was just in shock. He couldn't believe that we were there. We were able to help out, and that we were on the ground to actually make the difference.
Wow. What was his home like?
His home actually had a tree that landed right on top of his roof. So, I can't even imagine what those people are going through right now. Yeah, but this guy, you could tell this gentleman really needed the help, and we were just in the right place at the right time, and we were able to support them. It's all it takes is one person helping. One person makes it all worth it. So we've been giving out hundreds of meals at a time.
I was gonna say it's all about helping one person, but you've been helping hundreds of people every day. When do you start seeing the damage when you're driving in? Is it like is the damage concentrated to a very tight area, or do you start seeing it progressively?
Yeah, so when approaching Lake Charles, I'd say about maybe 5 miles out or so. So you'll actually notice all of the light poles tilted north, so you could see the way that the wind came in, and
The
all
light
of them.
posts?
Yeah, the light posts and
Not just the trees, the light posts.
yeah, the light posts. A lot of them are broken, but trees too, and everything will just be tilted over, and we saw some flipped containers. There were cars overturned on the side of the road. And the more you get into Lake Charles, really, really the worse it gets. Houses completely destroyed. We actually saw a big glass building with a ton of windows blown out of it. It looked almost like a ghost town. It was really a frightening scene. But yeah, the devastation really is bad. I've never seen this many power lines down as I've seen here.
Wow. When people hear that you're from New York and you've come down in the middle of a pandemic, do you get any kind of special reaction?
People say, "Wow, that's great. Thank you for coming down. We appreciate you coming all this way." But I've met several volunteers that are from all across the country. So and I've made some really good friendships that I'll have for the rest of my life, and
Wow,
people,
it seems like it.
yeah, people that I'll stay in contact with for, I'm sure, a very, very long time.
So you're in the middle of COVID. Talk to me a little about some of the precautions that you guys have to take.
Of course. So, pretty much at all times, once I leave my hotel room, we're wearing masks and gloves. The protocol tells us that we need to take the clamshells with the food in it, and we need to place it down and have the people from the community actually come out and grab the clamshell, so we're not directly handing it to them.
Do you sense any fear or general anxiety with the people that you're helping with regards to COVID?
I really think that this hurricane that struck their town is on the forefront of their mind. So, sure, people still are thinking about COVID, and usually most of the people coming to the pods are wearing masks. But yeah, it's this is just a definitely a bad time for them as well, because it's the hurricane and COVID. So their houses are destroyed. They're out without electricity and air and food and water. So that I feel like really comes first, and then
Yeah.
COVID on top of that, they have to worry about trying to keep distance and stay safe and stay sanitary. So it's just a really difficult thing that they're going through right now.
One last question. The Red Cross, it means a lot to your family. How would you describe that?
Okay, so ever since I was little, I've seen my dad do some great volunteer work, and I saw the joy that it brought him, and I really wanted to carry that on. And once I was exposed to it a little more, once I got a little older, and I was able to go on calls with my father to house fires even. It really it really showed me a different side to everything. It really just helped me move forward and make a difference. The Red Cross means a ton to my family, and I'm just happy to continue my father's legacy and do what I can.
I want to thank Nick for taking the time to talk to me, and I also want to acknowledge again all our volunteers who are doing incredible work, whether it's down south in the Gulf after Hurricane Laura or out west after the massive wildfires that are occurring. And also the volunteers who are helping out in their own communities. The Red Cross responds to local disasters like fires, floods, and other incidents here in New York. We do that 5 to 25 times a day, helping people who've lost their home to a fire or other incident, and we provide that immediate assistance and that immediate care. So thanks to the volunteers who are doing their part to help others. If you want to learn more about what we do, if you want to donate money, if you want to volunteer your time, visit redcross.org. Thank you so much for listening. Let's continue to look out for one another.